Now
Doesn't
I'm
smell
going.
good.
There we go.
All right. So people can hear us, Kel.
Yeah,
Right now
like
they
now?
can hear me
Oh,
and JP.
yeah, but
live. We're live, but
Right.
he does a walk-in first. So we have a little bit of fun.
Right.
So now it's time to do the voice check.
There you
level,
go.
Level, check.
Hello.
1, 2.
Oh, and Chambrielle, this is my brother,
Howdy.
and he's about to do a show with us, and so is his friend Nolan. Chambrielle's our new intern. She just
Oh,
started this
sweet.
week. She
Cool.
rocks already.
Nice.
Already she knows more than us technology-wise
So
for all
she's
this.
like, yeah, y'all are old.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's thinking.
All right.
Notice how she politely laughs and goes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
She was about the 80s and she never wanted to hear.
She was born after Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Oh. That's funny. Okay, phone's off.
So what song, do y'all have to license this song?
I forgot to put the
No,
barbecue
we've
guys
got
in.
this one. There's some songs you don't have to license. This one we've got,
It's like public domain.
yeah, public domain.
Right.
Tony Smotherman, the guy who's going to do the 8 to 8:30 tribute with us for Van Halen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sweet.
Dude, look him up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Incredible.
Oh,
Or
yeah, like,
Dave's incredible
like I want
guitarist.
CJ to take lessons from him. He's
Oh,
got
cool.
a great story.
Dude, you should have CJ on here to shred one day.
Yeah, yeah, like he wants,
Oh, thanks, bro.
like he wants
Appreciate
to
it.
be on Mom's show.
Oh, yeah, and then we'll probably have you
What?
get,
Good morning to the crew.
well, hey, and we'll probably have you get a shot of beautiful Nolan over there so we can create some buzz.
and truly beautiful Chambrielle.
Yeah, of course.
Got a busy studio this morning. Busy show today.
Dude, I'm thinking skate park on the first floor.
Oh,
You know,
and
like what you I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
That's
for
a skate park.
Yeah,
Hey, you say that. That's not a bad idea.
I know. See, I'm like, now that I'm
Y'all are the
sober, I'm
ID
just like
guys.
full of them, dude.
Yeah, you say that. That's
We're
not
ready.
an incredibly bad idea.
I'm an idea man.
All right.
Live from Venture X Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
I'm hearing somebody's feedback. Hello to the crew.
That sounds like John's.
JP, is your
I'm an idea man.
JP, is your computer sound up?
Yes, I can hear.
I'm getting
No,
a little.
we can hear the show.
We're getting a little negligible audio latency here.
Hey, can we bring the camera down a little bit because we're seeing more ceiling?
How about we just do that first?
Ooh,
Rock
zoom in.
and roll, and then there's JP's beautiful face all the way from Arizona.
There we go.
And JP,
El
we're
Paso,
live.
anyway.
If you want to welcome everybody. JP, we're live, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
I
are
know.
you sharing?
I'm trying to share the group.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well then, good morning to you, the crew. Super excited to have you with us today. Happy Friday. Big show today. We've got my brother in the house, KellyReverb.
What's up?
He and his buddy Nolan, Professor Nolan, are going to have a podcast under the JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network. Super excited talking about sobriety, and Kelly's going to talk a little bit about, you'll hear some of his story today about his quest to be sober. So good
There you go.
stuff. Super proud of my brother. We've got Rachel Lindley from the Richardson Theater Center on talking about how do you do theater in this COVID pandemic environment. Then we've got Tony Smotherman, and those of you who have been with us since our radio days know Tony is just an incredible guitarist, crazy talented, and he is going to be helping us with our tribute, and we're doing a big tribute today to the one and only Eddie Van Halen. So very excited about that. We've got, what's the name of the barbecue place, JP?
Chuck's got it.
Meet you anywhere.
That's it.
Ah, nice.
Meat. I love that
We
for a
need to
barbecue
get
place.
some catering here
Oh,
at the show.
they might be catering. We're going to ask them to cater, and hopefully they can, our veterans.
I think there's also some
telethon.
breakfast stuff
Involved.
coming
Oh, right on.
today, John.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Yes, we'll freeze yours, John. We'll put it in the refrigerator for you for Monday.
We'll send you a 3D printed image.
Breakfast burritos.
But absolutely, November the 11th, people need to remember, we want you
Yes.
to come on up to Venture X Studios in Frisco, Texas, and join us for our live telethon for veterans of America.
Disabled American veterans. We're going to be raising money for 8 hours that day for that organization. Of course,
7:30 to 5.
Yeah, so 7:30 to 5, we're going to do a little paper football, have some food, have some fun. Several of our different podcasters are going to be here in studio to say hi to you. Hopefully, Kelly, maybe you and Nolan can make it up that day and
we'll do
help
some
us
signings.
make some phone
of course,
calls.
yeah.
Make some phone calls. So, yeah, but we're really excited. And this is going to be in conjunction with kicking off another one of our military shows. Of course, you can catch Kilroy's Conversation here tomorrow from 8 to 9 a.m. With Chuck Wright and Andrew White. And they've got a great show, just started last weekend. And there's going to be another veterans show that, like I said, we kick off on Veterans Day, JP. So we're ready to rock and roll. We back the blue. We support our military and are so grateful for them and what they've done for us and what they do for us currently. So God bless them.
Definitely
Amen.
want them to come up and join us on November the 11th and help us raise money. Bring your phone. Our goal is $1,000. I'm hoping we can reach that by noon. So very excited about that. Excited about who we've got in studio. Yes, I got more handsome, and I now wear cool T-shirts. We've got what I consider, for me anyways, very famous, very cool KellyReverb, Dallas DJ, blow it off the charts.
Yeah, baby.
And he joined us this morning. Well, in our first conversation piece about entertainment, especially right now during COVID-19, in the entertainment industry, I mean, look at all of the famous singers and actors and entertainers that have died due to drug overdose, due to alcoholism. And Kelly's had a bit of a battle, but man, we're on the other side. And Kelly, I would love to hear your story as it relates to the entertainment industry. Did that have an impact? Did it influence you? And then how did you finally get out of it?
Yeah.
Not the entertainment industry, but alcohol or drugs or whatever was your demon.
Shall I start?
Start, man.
Okay.
You're right into
hey,
it,
man,
dude.
am I on?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
on.
cool.
You're on.
Yeah, just a quick example came to mind. I mean, shoot, like when I was actually DJing live, I kind of blacked out on the decks a couple of times, so that's how bad it got. Like, I mean, like, I'd get that face, and then all of a sudden, Kelly checked out, dude.
While you were spinning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then like I was like, it's just a blood sugar issue.
Okay. Everybody's like, all right, dude.
Okay, one time, and then second time, hey, dude, we can't have that at work. But nobody told me to quit drinking, and I was like, oh, well then, cool, yeah, I'll just go get a gig somewhere else,
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we go back to, you've been in the music industry, the DJ industry since your high school days, and I remember you telling me not too long ago that, dude, you're 16 and somebody's like, how about a shot of Malibu rum, kid?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we were all introduced to alcohol early. I mean, not in a negative, huge way, but Dad would let us have a sip of a lawn beer.
Oh,
and we'd go, oh, my God, dude. Oh, how do you drink that, dude? Little Falstaff 96.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, yeah. But, what was the question?
Yeah, so starting out in high school, and we're gonna have Kelly on. JP's JP and I are gonna have Kelly back in studio several times to kind of talk about this quest, and also Kelly and Professor Nolan, as he will be referred to, will be doing a show about sobriety on the JP Kathy and the Crew network. We're finding more people grappling with alcoholism, especially during COVID.
It is incredible how many people it touches. If it's not the person directly, then it's their family. Right. And, just me reaching out on Facebook, so many people have hit me up, regarding, hey, man, I know what you're going through because my dad was an alcoholic and died, from cirrhosis or whatever, and it's insane.
It is. I mean,
people hit you.
Hit me.
That's a cool. Charles. That's
hit
a cool term.
Come on, dude.
That's a hip term. He's obviously the cooler of the two siblings.
You gotta get with the vernacular, man.
Hey, Kelly, quick question.
Yeah.
When you're out and you were DJing young, and you were like almost just a kid, did you have people offering you stuff to drink?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, no, it was just always there. Like, I mean, of course, that was back in the day, the '80s, when like, I mean, we would all go get the fake ID at Sweet Vicon Village. Shout out.
You could not replicate a fake ID nowadays.
Oh, dude, no, I have the sweetest one from like Louisiana. It's not quite as fine as like McLovin anything, but it's good. Yeah. So, but basically, it was just always around, and at high school parties and stuff, and you just start drinking, and then I just got really good at it. So.
Yeah, well, like John said, so did people, because obviously, 16, 17, you're not legal. You can't buy it. So did people buy it for you at the clubs and hand it over to you?
Kath, where there's a will, there's a way. You didn't have any problem getting your Boone's Farm when you were that young. So.
Yeah, senior year, yeah, Boone's Farm, yeah. And there were a group of 7 or 8 of us who would drink a bottle of Boone's Farm all with a straw.
There you go.
The same drink, yeah, the same bottle, yeah.
Sweet.
Tickle pink.
Oh, there you go, dude. Nice. I'll be on the lookout for a Boone's Farm shirt for you.
Oh, okay, Boone's Farm shirt. Yeah, no, the Boone's Farm days are gone.
Kelly, I'll tell you, I look forward to your show and the enlightenment it's gonna bring.
Yeah.
The professor, and can't appreciate you enough willing to talk about
your
personal life and how it's impacted you and where you're at now today. So, man, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it. I mean, the thing is like, what is it? The 10th step, 12th step is to share and, spread the love and tell everybody. And the thing is I equate it this way. If you were, if you got diagnosed with cancer, would you eat a little broccoli or would you go to the doctor?
Yeah,
I'm going to the doctor.
Yeah.
So, hey, I was an alcoholic, and I basically went to the doctor, aka rehab, and I'm like, it's not embarrassing. I mean, I don't care. Yeah, I went to rehab. 'Cause when I went in, there's a kind of like a dirty word connotation for that. And people are like, oh shit. Went to rehab. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. I mean, and actually rehab is a smart thing to do because you don't want to quit cold turkey if you're dependent on it physically, because, there can be.
And were you dependent on it physically when you got into rehab?
You'd get the shakes and stuff, but, and the thing is I just couldn't quit on my own because I'd go, oh, well, I got this under control. And, it's the classic, just fool yourself and just, because you can do that for a long time. And I mean, I even went into rehab, begrudgingly.
Yes.
Literally. And I I was like, hey man, I'm going to go into rehab and then I'll get out. And then this is the famous trappings of alcoholism. I went in there and then it just like, I can get out and just socially drink,
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to go to rehab and I'm going to slow down a little.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, all right, dude.
I'm just gonna pump the brakes,
Yeah.
But then now that I got clarity, it's basically like I've had a relationship with alcohol for 25 years, and then I've had a relationship for with sobriety for almost 90 days now.
Yay!
90 days is tomorrow.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
And so I'm like, just why not give this sober thing a chance? Because I mean, honestly, I know I'm in the honeymoon phase or the pink cloud phase.
I'm like pink cloud phase
of the of my sobriety, but hey, dude, it's fun, and life is much better sober.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Gosh, good for you, Kelly.
From the crew, Kelly, if you're okay with answering
Sure,
that.
of course.
Did your alcoholism ever get you in trouble with the law?
I was fortunate enough. I got pulled over a couple of times, and by the grace of God, no DUIs. But man, you talk to people there. I mean, half the people that were in rehab have the breathing device, and a multitude of DUIs and not fun stuff. And, no legal issues, so to speak, but life quality issues for sure.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put
Kelly,
it.
what is the name of your show going to be?
It is going to be, funny you ask, it's going to be thepinkcloud.com. And basically, it's funny you ask. The pink cloud. What does that mean, Kelly?
Yeah, what does that mean, Kelly? We missed our cue on that, JP.
Well, no, what I'm thinking is hold that thought because I want to bring him back and go more in depth into that name and into that show.
Perfect.
Awesome.
We've got Rachel Lindley waiting for us in the waiting room
Yay,
with the
Rachel.
Richardson Theater Center. And I want, so I don't want Kelly to answer that yet. I want people to be wondering what
a teaser.
Come back and watch when we bring him back.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right. Do we have Rachel?
I'm here.
Good morning, Rachel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. You sound fantastic. We've got Rachel, who is the artistic director, and if you're a member of the crew, you will recognize her voice. We don't have her beautiful face on today, but you will recognize her voice. No, that's okay. We're just glad to have you. She is the artistic director for the Richardson Theater Center, and we had brought her on before because the Richardson Theater Center puts on some of the best shows. You have in the North Texas area, I think you have more talent in the Richardson Theater Center than just about anywhere else, and just have been so impressed with the shows. You guys are so great. And
Michael Wiseman.
Yeah. Well, and I might say my husband's been in a couple of those shows, so there you go. This is a shameless plug, but it was really cool. You guys have a real unique way of letting actors, have their creativity during this pandemic because, gosh, being on stage and, not having masks on stage together with each other, that's not the right thing to do right now. And by the way, Rachel, we wanted you to know that the crew was praying for you and your mom and your family, and we were very sorry about the loss of your mother. So just know that you've been in our prayers for quite some time now, and are still are.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, so during this pandemic, you can't get together and do the theater shows you normally do because everybody's kind of right on top of each other, and well, you can't wear a mask and then do 12 Angry Men, or any of these other Little Shop of Horrors. So you have been very creative in how you did this, and then you and my husband actually starred in one of these vignette shows. I think they came out Monday. So talk about theater during the pandemic.
Well, I think I've always liked old time radio and listening to podcasts and things like that. And I just decided when I started looking at these Zoom play readings, I found myself closing my eyes because the actors were distracting me because they're not in costume and there wasn't a set, nothing. But when I closed my eyes, then my imagination took over. So thus, theater of the imagination. And then we found different type of old-time radio vignettes. And everything kind of just fell together because we did a fundraiser at the beginning of the year before the pandemic hit. And it was an old-time radio type fundraiser, and it was very well received. So we kind of put our heads together and thought, well, this was a good way to do it. We can all record everything at home. We have a Zoom rehearsal. And then we put in all the sound effects, everything that you could imagine that you would see, like if you hear underscoring in a movie, well, you're going to hear underscoring in our vignette. And so it just makes it much more exciting, and you get to use your imagination. You imagine us wherever you want us to be. Like in the last one that I did with your husband, Michael was the cab driver, and I was a passenger. We did not record it at the same time, but our editor puts it all together, and it sounds fantastic.
And that's what blew me away, Rachel, is the quality. You've got, first of all, Laura Jennings dialect. Oh my goodness, Laura's voice. I must have listened to We'll Meet Again with her singing it 5 times before I finally listened to y'all's show. It's just, she's so captivating. And you've got, the old time radio announcer, and it really just, it is truly like a, and I'm getting ready to share my screen, Charles, so I can show everybody a picture of the cast that's recently done this show. It swept you away. It sounded, if I wouldn't have known that Michael recorded all of that on his own, I wouldn't have believed you guys weren't literally sitting next to each other in chairs in a reading room at the theater center. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have very. Well, first of all, we have very gifted actors that and Michael, where you don't have to have somebody across from you to feed off of. You're in the moment when you're doing this, and again, using your imagination. And then we're also blessed actually with a very skilled sound designer and Richard Stevens, who puts this all together. We send everything to him, our recordings to him. He puts it all together with sound effects and underscoring and spooky music, because this one is a little on the spooky side. And the next one we're going to do is a big old comedy, and there'll be a music to reflect that. We're so lucky that we have sponsors that come in and decide, okay, well, this is a great way for us to advertise and support the theater. So they spend, and it's inexpensive, $150, and then they get to, we do a tailored commercial for them, a sponsorship, and that goes out every time they listen to the vignette. We hear about the wonderful people that are sponsoring our vignette and helping us keep our doors open. And then we have wonderful people on the other side that when they hear it, they want to donate. So
well, and I would imagine,
blessed,
I mean, y'all have been blessed. This has been amazing, and there's where can people? I've got two questions. One, if somebody wants to be a sponsor, and like I said, it's only $150, and it's a great commercial read that they get on this show. If they want to do that, who do they contact? Rachel, do they contact you? Is there a number or an email that we can put in our feed?
Sure. Probably the best thing to do would be to contact me.
Okay.
I can give you my email if you'd like.
But go ahead and give that to us, and we'll put that out there for the crew, because there may be members of the crew. We've got a lot of small business owners, and especially out here in our new studio at Venture X, tons of small business owners, tons of entrepreneurs. So they may want to advertise with y'all. So how do they get in touch with you, Rachel?
Well, it's my just my email. RALI, N as in Nancy, D as in dog, the number 42 at yahoo.com. Also, they can go to our website at richardsontheatrecenter.net, and there it has different forms and ways to contact us. You can do that as well. Plus, Rachel Lindley, you can reach me on Facebook. Believe me, I'm out there.
I love it. And how do they see the show?
Easy to reach. We tailor the commercial to you, and it doesn't have to be necessarily commercial.
Okay.
We are venturing out into dedication. So if you have an anniversary and a loved one that you want to surprise,
idea.
What a great way to do it, by sending them a vignette that everybody gets to hear, and they declare their love to the world on the vignette.
Awesome. Okay, our hopeless romantic JP bells just went off in his head, I'm sure. Well, how do people go back and watch the other shows?
I'm also thinking, Kathy, we need to advertise.
I was just, that's a great idea. Yeah, Rachel, you may be hearing from us real soon.
Well, that's great. Come on.
Rachel,
we'd love it.
Will we ever get back to live theater, and could live theater be a Zoom meeting?
I don't think, well, you know what? I am never, ever going to put brakes on art. Art finds a way. It really does. Will Zoom ever replace live theater? If you're asking my opinion, I'll say no, because there's something about the electricity in an audience.
Yes.
And that's exchanged between the actor and the audience, and it's live. But then again, like I said, I can't put brakes on art. Who knows who's going to come up with some brilliant idea, and maybe there will be Zoom theater. I don't know. Right now, I don't have that idea. If I did, I certainly would try to do something about it. But to me, you lose the connection in a way when you're doing theater. Now, what we do, you can connect like what we're doing. But there's something about that in-person electricity when you're with your other person and you're dressed up and you're ready to go to the theater and you smell everything and all the scents and everything. It's part of it. it's part of live theater performance.
Yeah, it's part of that experience. Yeah, it is.
And we miss it. We miss it terribly, and we cannot wait until we can get to a point where we can open up. But we've been so thankful to our patrons and our sponsors for helping us keep our doors open, so to say, so we can do all the stuff that we're doing now, which is getting the theater space ready, renovating, doing all the kind of things that we can do that we weren't able to do with show after show after show.
And I can only imagine that first show back, your shows always end up selling out because, again, the quality of production and the cast and the crew is incredible. I can't even imagine. Can we all buy tickets now for whatever your first live show is?
Hey, so
you really, actually, you
can.
We've got 2 shows cast, Kathy, and ready to go as far as getting rehearsals. People are memorizing already. We're just waiting for the moment that we can all safely be together, and I can't wait for that day.
Well, now this might be a stupid question, but can you actually just do it social, like do half capacity and social distance everybody in the theater and just go ahead and just do a scaled down?
There are theaters that can do that, and unfortunately our space is so intimate.
Yeah.
Really
I love
difficult.
that. By the way, I love the space. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's been to one of your
because
shows.
it's intimate, and we were in there actually measuring what the distance, if you keep
gotcha.
6 feet apart and trying to keep everything safe, and we ended up with maybe being able to sit 12 people. So
right, yeah.
It was
it will be $120 a ticket.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, if we could play to, I don't have a problem playing to 12 to 15 people.
Sure.
But financially,
I
it would
understand,
probably tank us.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's Kelly said. My brother's in studio with us today, and he's like, "Yeah, so that'd be $120 a ticket. No pressure." Well, and like you said, part of the experience is also, I love it, and especially like when Michael was in 12 Angry Men, I loved being in the lobby, which y'all have got, y'all serve beer and wine and soda and tea and coffee and popcorn. And it's so great out there. And I loved listening to people talking about the different characters in the show. And when they were saying stuff about, Michael's character, who was not a very friendly character, who was never redeemed at the end of the show, they're like, I hate him. And I'm like, oh, that's my husband. Just wait till you see the second act. You ain't seen nothing yet.
That's funny.
So that's part of the experience,
That's one of my favorite things to do, Kathy, at the end of the show. They do encourage me, because I'm the artistic director, to go out and talk to people, and I do. But I am shy. But what I'll do is sometimes, if you want to find me, I'm telling you my secret. I'm usually hiding in the box office with the drapes and everything closed, listening to what you guys say about the show when I'm not around, so I can get the real scoop.
I love it.
And I've learned the best things standing back there and listening to what people have to say. Not that they're afraid to give me their opinion, but it's really very interesting to hear how they frame things and see things differently, or the same that I do when they don't know that I'm around. So that's kind of fun.
That's great. Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. We really appreciate your time today and look forward to having you back on, and can't wait till y'all are back in the theater.
Oh, Kathy, thank you. And Michael Wiseman is so talented, one of the best actors I have ever worked with.
Oh, thank you. He's actually
No, he's
listening
great,
right
yeah.
now, so thank you. Thank you for saying that. He is very talented.
Yes.
He is. He really is. And when I heard this vignette, I said, and I sent Michael a couple, but I knew I wanted to be in this one with Michael.
Oh, I love it. Well, y'all are fantastic together, and people can check y'all out in Theater of the Imagination from Richardson Theater Center.
Yes.
Thank you, Rachel, and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Kathy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Kathy, it is interesting. So, the bars are opening up, movie theaters have opened up. And so it is going to be those smaller venues that may not make the financial cut. And that's why we're seeing, I think, a lot of small mom and pop businesses not be able to reopen. And so, Rachel is really fortunate to be able to have people who will sponsor and support the arts so that until we can open up to 75 or 100%,
Exactly.
they'll be able to financially make sense in reopening their doors.
Well, think about it. You're right. I mean, that's a very, very, very true statement. Okay, so they were unable to do shows in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We're headed into almost November. So 9 months of a theater not being able to every other month put out a great show that brings in sold out crowds every night. Yeah, if you don't have good patrons like she has, it can break you. You're right.
So we've got Tony Smotherman coming in.
Yeah, Tony.
Wow.
Oh my goodness! Talk about an incredible guitar player, and actually, I did mention to him last night that you and I were wanting to. We'd literally just spoken about him the other day that we want to use some of his guitar riffs on our show and make sure that we've got permission and all that kind of good stuff. But Tony reached out to me. We talked about this a little bit on Wednesday that we were going to be doing a tribute to Eddie Van Halen today, and my favorite guitarist, in my humble opinion, the best guitarist ever, will go down as the greatest of all time in my book, from my favorite band. So, and my brother knows this. Junior high and high school for me, and most of my friends, I was defined either by Van Halen, the Go-Go's, or Madonna. So there you go. That's kind of if you want to understand my personality, go back to the 70s and 80s and listen to all three of those. And then you're like, no wonder she's so jacked up.
And the Grease and Xanadu soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course. Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can't forget those. But so Tony reached out to us, obviously being a guitar player, actually having a story about Eddie Van Halen himself. And JP, I called JP because I knew he would react this way. I said, yeah, so I just got a message on Messenger from Tony Smotherman. He wants to be on tomorrow and help with our tribute to Eddie Van Halen. And JP's like, what are you doing on the phone with me? Get on the phone with him.
Nice.
Well, and the email I had went away, and I reached out to you, Tony, I don't know, month or so, 2 months ago. Because, man, I want to make your guitar riffs our opening, closings, and a big part of our network. Ladies and gentlemen, the renowned guitarist Tony Smotherman is joining us here at JP, Kathy, and the crew. Man, Tony, thank you so much for joining us. I see that you've got guitar in hand.
Oh, yeah, it's in hand. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on today. I thought it was a really, it's an incredible week. So there's a lot going on. So, thanks for having me on. I wanted to talk about Eddie a little bit today.
Tony, what kind of impact did someone like Eddie Van Halen have on shaping your future with the guitar?
Well, it was completely monumental. I can't even describe how much. It was unbelievable. I had a friend of mine had I was around 13 years old. He had a VHS tape player at his house. And he had one of the Van Halen live concerts, and I remember watching it. And we didn't have a VHS player, so what I did was I got a little tape recorder, and I went to his house on the weekend, the following weekend. I said, "Can we watch that Van Halen solo along again?" It was like probably 20 minutes long, and it was just an unaccompanied solo. And I put that tape recorder right next to the speaker of that old TV, man, and I recorded the whole thing. And the entire weekend, I'm just trying to analyze and hear everything I'm hearing. I'm like, this doesn't even sound like a guitar. This is unbelievable.
Was that like Cathedral? Was Cathedral and Spanish Fly mixed in there?
A little Eruption?
Yeah.
All the things. I mean, if you closed your eyes, you would not believe, because Eddie really wasn't a big effects guy. They have things that will modulate those things now by pushing one button and hitting one string. You'll get all that. And he wasn't doing that. He was, he was in it. So it was blowing my mind. I'm listening to this guy, and I'm like, I've got to figure out how he's doing this stuff, So that was it. To say it was a huge impact, it was just monumental. It shaped who I became as an artist and as a musician, and the direction that I went into. Everything about him. You hear the Cathedral thing, I was like, that sounds like a violin or something like that. So all those techniques, just incredible. Such a huge impact.
So Tony, can you play a little for us? Can you give us a little riff, a little tribute that maybe you would want to give to Eddie Van Halen and all those people out there that rocked the 70s and 80s and heck, me, the 90s, because I didn't stop listening to him. I listen to him today. That you might have that can come out of your heart.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So let me preface that with this week, I got a lot of messages. People asked me if I was going to do any kind of tribute to Eddie. And I said, well, I'm definitely planning on doing it. I just don't feel like the time is right. I got to get my headspace right, because it really was such a monumental loss. And like I tell everybody this week, Eddie to me was kind of like a father figure, even though I never knew him. That's how he felt. He felt like a father figure who was kind of guiding you and mentoring you along, but you never really spoke with him directly, at that point. So yeah, absolutely. So I went ahead and did a video yesterday. I think it ended up being 5 minutes. I just plugged in and I improvised the whole thing. I won't do that to you guys today. I won't do a 5-minute improv. But let me just kind of show you, if I will, recreate what it sounded like to me when I was 13 years old. Just in my head, what I remember hearing. Something like this.
Wow.
Hey, did you practice that?
Wow, we've got, and my brother and I are sitting here, we've got chills.
Oh, yeah, that was great, dude.
What an amazing tribute
Sure.
to such an incredible artist.
I love all those harmonics and finger taps, man. It's fantastic. It's pure Eddie.
Yeah, they called him the Shredder, and there was a reason for that. And I remember even when my son had first gotten into guitar, and of course, I'm trying to make sure that he loves all the same music I do, which kind of your kid goes the opposite way when you do that, by the way, FYI to parents out there. But I played Eddie Van Halen playing Eruption at age 60. And, and he's battled, we know, all of us who are fans know that he's battled throat cancer for a number of years
And
now.
alcoholism.
Yeah. Oh, did not know that.
Ask me later.
Okay. I did not know that. Wow. So he, I was just amazed at age 60. Now that I'm almost 54, I'm like, oh, that's at the young age of 60. But he was still shredding the guitar like nobody's business. I was trying to explain, I was trying to put all of my thoughts and emotions from listening and air guitaring to with my brother Kelly and with my best girlfriend Elizabeth. We went to every Van Halen concert that came along. She was going to marry Eddie Van Halen. I was going to marry David Lee Roth, and we were going to tour with them. This was our bright idea at age 15. Great. Yeah, that was really going to work out. But I was trying to put in the emotions. Really raw emotions of how his guitar playing moved us and transcended us as kids. And it's just, unless you were there and experienced it, like you said, taking a cassette and recording off of a VHS, I just don't know that you can ever truly appreciate the pure greatness of Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, I think I told you last night, in high school, a couple of my girlfriends and we rescued a dog from a grocery store parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Dog's name is Panama.
There
Panama has since passed, but, Panama was, of course, one of Van Halen's great songs. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's incredible watching the entire world being affected by the loss of Eddie Van Halen. One thing I've just been saying this week is, you never saw Eddie with a frown on his face. He always, in every picture, every video I've seen, the man's always smiling. I mean, if you notice that, look for that now. He's always smiling.
If you do what you love.
Yeah.
Or, the man always had a smile on his face. And now I got to tell you guys this story. It's pretty crazy. I've never personally met Eddie, but something really special happened when I got my first endorsement deal. Right around 20 years ago, George's Music Store opened here in Orange Park, Florida. And I was there and, I was playing this guitar. And a PV rep walked up to me and he said, hey, how's it going? Do you work with a guitar company? It was pretty direct. And I go, no, actually I don't. And I'm thinking, I don't really have, nothing really as far as any company backing. And he said, well, my name is Roy Rogers. I go, who? He goes, no, not that one, not that Roy Rogers. His name's Roy Rogers. He goes, I work for PV. We at PV like to help out artists. So why don't you send me a press kit? Here's my card. So I said, oh, okay, cool. A couple weeks go by, didn't really think much of it. And then I run into this guy again at a different music store. And he said, oh, I remember you, man. Did you send me that press kit? I said, no, I not yet. He goes, well, I can't help you until you help me. I said, well, this guy sounds like he's serious. So what I did was I put together a press kit. I raced to a local studio and I plugged in and played across some backing tracks. Anyways, I forwarded him the press kit material. And my request was that I wanted to play what I was asking for was an Eddie Van Halen Wolfgang guitar. He had just joined PV and put that guitar out. Mm-hmm. So, long story short, he forwards my stuff to a lady named Michelle Downey at PV, and Michelle calls me. And this was probably a month later. And she said, Roy gave me your stuff, and I have to tell you an interesting story. She goes, I'm sorry?
Oh, no. Go ahead. Sorry. We're waving to the next guest who's bringing food in. Go ahead.
So,
we're hanging on your every word, Tony.
Good. So she's listening to my demo. Eddie was at the PV plant that day, and one of the reps was walking him around, showing him everything. And she was in her office, and she was listening to my demo. And
wow.
They got a knock on the door. She opens she turned the music down, and they open the door, and she meets Eddie and everything. And in the middle of the conversation, Eddie goes, "Who's that?" Because he could still hear the music. I said, "Well, actually, I was just reading this guy's press kit, and I just got to the part where he actually wants to play Wolfgang guitars." And Michelle said that he said, "Well, send him one." And so
what the heck?
Michelle calls me and says, "He said to send you one. What color do you want?" And I said,
"Oh my gosh!"
Oh
yeah! Oh man, that's awesome.
Cool. This is not his real stage; it's engraved in there.
Wow.
This thing has some mileage on it, as you can see. I played this guitar exclusively when I was with Buddy Miles too. So I put a lot of mileage on this guitar. Now, I would love to plug it in, but after sitting in the case, after I got the VGA endorsement deal, it's been sitting in the case for so long that the electronics aren't even working in it anymore. But guess what? That's going to be fixed this weekend.
Oh,
so,
I bet it is.
Yeah, it's ready. We're getting ready to revive it. The Wolfgang was named after Eddie's son.
Yes, yes. So, and his son, did you ever get to see? I never got to see his son play live with him, but obviously I've seen videos over the years. Wow. And his son's tribute to his dad was extremely moving, extremely touching.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And, I know Ed was real proud of his son, very proud of him. And you just always hear, it's amazing just even non-musicians who are not into the music, maybe of Van Halen or anything, everybody just liked Eddie, so you could just imagine being, that close to him too. If you make an impact on the world just by your personality, forget the guitar playing.
Yeah.
Just the personality. It was just everybody who knew him would say he would do things, for people, and he never would want anybody to know about it. He always kept things kind of quiet in the background. It wasn't about who did it. It was just, let's help
getting
this
it
guy
done.
out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I think that's, and I wonder because his family really did, from what I'm reading, he had a rapid decline and a really, you would hear about him battling cancer, but then you'd see him out with his son, or you'd see him, shred the guitar, and you're like, oh, he must be doing pretty well. But they kept that, his wife Janie and his son, they kept that and then his ex-wife Valerie kept that very private. And I wonder if that's because he didn't want to take anything away from his fans, because he certainly loved his fans. And you could tell that if you ever had the chance to go to a Van Halen concert and watch him live on stage. Oh, I mean, you felt like he was playing just for you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's incredible. It's been about 10 years. I heard that, I've seen pictures of him, as of a couple months ago, and he was looking good. Then he'd kind of not look so great again, and then he looked good again,
Yeah.
This is 10 years ago. And Eddie always said that all this started from a metal guitar pick. That's what he said. He said that he would, on tour for all those years, he was using a metal guitar pick, and when he'd do the two-handed stuff, he'd stick it in his mouth. And that he is certain that's where it came from.
That's what everybody's been talking about, is that, and there's so many pictures, and I remember seeing him in concert, seeing him with that metal guitar pick in his mouth, and of course, as a young girl, I thought that was sexy.
There's also the 9 million cigarettes he smoked.
Well, okay, and cigarettes. There you go. So that might have been something, but just what a talent, and what a loss. What a loss to the music world and to his millions upon millions of fans worldwide who just think he hung the moon.
Hey, we're three of them.
I think rock guitar player, is definitely, whether they know it or not, inspired by Eddie. And the thing that came out this week that a lot of people are saying, which I believe is absolutely true, Eddie Van Halen is the most influential and important guitarist since Jimi Hendrix. That's a fact.
Amen.
easily, yeah.
Amen. And that's why I was trying to explain. So when my son first got into guitar, I played Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock, and then and Eddie Van Halen, because to me, I think of all of the people like yourself who were influenced, and people who became musicians and who picked up the guitar because of him. I can't think of a better legacy to leave, because that's going to go on from generation to generation. And in decades from now, there's going to be somebody on a podcast, maybe there'll be a hologram, but they'll be talking about, they weren't even, they haven't even been born yet, and they're going to be talking about Eddie Van Halen.
Definitely. This week with students too, a lot of people have been coming in. Okay, what's Eddie doing here? What's he doing there? And since I, really spent so much time as a kid just learning that stuff and trying to figure out what Ed was doing, because we all wanted to be like him.
Right.
It's great seeing the younger ones, 14, 15, coming in, asking questions like, how did he make his guitar sound like a violin? And and a lot of the things he was doing were not insanely difficult, but the thing is how did he figure them out? We're going beyond the whole, when he did keyboard.
Yeah. That's just beautiful.
Just using his volume knob.
Yeah, I wish we had that on camera. You need to go up a little bit so we can see the volume knob
do
work.
that. Do that again. Yeah, do that
the
again
volume
so
knob
we can
work.
see
Yeah.
That is improvised because I don't.
No, that's all good.
Hey, it sounds great to us.
Yeah, dude. Whatever.
That's awesome. That's so great.
Yeah. I could just watch that all day.
Dude, that's great. Yeah, Tony, we need you to do a podcast on the JP Kathy and the Crew network.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll tune in. You'll have your biggest fans, your top fans here.
All right.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. I would love to.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I'm sure you don't have anything to talk about interesting, right?
I'm a musician,
Yeah.
Stuff from the night before.
Right.
So there's always something to talk about. No, but that's really the thing, seeing the outpouring from everybody this week just shows how much Eddie was loved as a human being, and what a great guy,
Yeah.
And Michelle told me that story about the guitar. You have to remember, this was only 7 years after I discovered him. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
it was really cool to hear that. And the guitar showed up, and I just kept playing it and playing it. I put so much mileage on that guitar. So this weekend we're gonna get it fixed up, and my friend's gonna fix it up.
That's cool, man. You'll have to next time you're on the show. You'll have to play that guitar, the resurrected version.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will. I definitely will.
Cool.
I definitely.
Awesome.
I guess it was just mainly. I guess this whole thing is just when you look at Eddie as a person, and then you see how he broke the guitar down almost like an engineer or something. That's kind of the special takeaway is his contributions will never be forgotten. He's a legendary status, always has been, I guess, and
yeah, his music. When I posted something on Facebook, I said, rest in peace, and I said, your music lives on, because it will.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's forever. That's literally forever to the end of time.
Yeah. Yep.
It's amazing. But the great thing is that a whole new slew of guitar players are coming, and and they're all influenced by Eddie, and so that the way the guitar is looked at will always be different because of Eddie Van Halen.
For sure. Amen.
There's every once in a while somebody comes along and just changes the entire book. They rewrite it. They rewrite the book. And it's like, wow, where is your mind, man? You know, most guitar players listen to each other for ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
And Eddie was not that guy. Eddie was one of the guys that were not doing that. He just, you know, kind of locked himself in his room. And that's what inspired me to kind of do the same thing, as crazy as it sounds. You know, I mean, 8-10 hours a day, it was because of Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Because I realized if I wanted to do that, there was no way I was just going to skate by with practicing here and there. I just knew.
No, you had to lock yourself away, and it had to be a full day's work kind of a thing. Well, Tony, we appreciate you so much. I know JP, I think he's even sent me a couple of text messages. Yeah, we'd love to have you do a music podcast on the show.
Sure, absolutely.
So,
thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thanks for letting me get some of the Van Halen stuff out that people have been asking for. So this was such a great outlet because I can, you know, could share this with them and maybe they can really get a feel for it instead of me typing out, you know, kind of all this stuff. And
well, thank you.
With you guys and the great questions about
and dude, you rock.
I appreciate it.
Tony, thank you.
Yeah, JP
Hey,
says
I'm
thank
be in
you.
touch with you, Tony. All right.
You got it, brother. Absolutely.
All right, we love you, Tony.
All right,
Stay
man.
safe
Be
and
safe out
healthy,
there.
and
You
be
too.
blessed. Thanks, and thank you for your musical talent and your musical contribution. And again, thank you so much for helping us pay tribute to greatest of all time, Eddie Van Halen.
Riff out, man.
Charles.
Do you want
All
me
right.
to out?
Yeah, riff yourself
Yeah,
out.
man.
Riff yourself out.
dude. Shred out, dude. Shred on, shredder.
All right, here we go.
So great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Man, you're blowing our soundboard.
I know,
man.
dude.
Yeah, he's blowing our
Dude.
sound. He's so good at blowing our soundboard.
You're compressing,
Thanks, Tony.
dude.
That's awesome. And we'll see you soon. JP will be in touch. Oh, there we go. A little bit more.
All right. Very, very renowned guitarist Tony Smotherman playing out into our next segment. God bless you, Tony. Be safe out there in Florida, brother.
So great.
That would be so fun to be able to just do that.
Oh, I know.
you know.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies.
Not with a tennis racket, you know.
Yeah. Oh, right. Uh-huh. For sure.
Tony,
Oh,
thank
thanks,
you.
man.
Thanks, Tony.
Tony.
Take
Love
care,
ya.
brother.
Great, man.
Thank you. That was great.
Well, Kathy,
Wow.
you know what goes good with music, don't you?
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Do we have our
Not
barbecue
just any
guys in
barbecue,
the house
Kathy.
yet?
Let me
Meat.
go get him.
What's it?
Barbie.
Meet you.
Texas barbecue.
Oh yes, and there's a
Yeah.
difference, and they'll let you know. It's meet you. What's the name again, Charles? Meet you.
Meet you anywhere.
Meet you anywhere. And yeah, JP. So talk about the difference between that. There is a difference between like Texas barbecue and Kansas City barbecue and all that kind of good stuff.
So first of all, I want to thank Chuck Gura, I think, or somebody's arm right in front of my camera view. I wanted to barbecue his arm. I was hungry. I hadn't had breakfast yet. No. So first of all, the owner chef is an amazing man. He got very involved in the national or the Texas State Association for Restaurants.
Right.
During COVID-19, had an influence on how they were being lobbied down in Austin in regards to restaurants being open, not being open,
Right.
what that would do to the industry. So this guy is very in tune to restauranteering, for lack
Okay.
of a better term.
Okay.
how to
That
support
you just
small
created a new
businesses.
verb? Is that a new verb you just
Resompling?
Oh, yeah, resompling. Yeah, that's funny, Kelly. Are we adding to the JP's dictionary?
Yes, you missed a good one the other day. I put the two words together and I was like, oh, I'm pretty impressed with myself on that one. I can't remember what it was.
What was
either,
it?
though.
I can't remember.
I'll
It
have
was
to
two good
remember, but
words.
it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one for the books.
So, but the first of all, the owners of this place, phenomenal guy, heavily involved. I mean, and what a smoker, man! This guy is absolutely a smoking genius. Competes all throughout the country, and so big difference between Texas barbecue. And everybody should know this. It's going to be the way it's smoked, and whether or not you're wet or dry, and what kind of rubs you use. And I mean, and it was funny. Some guys like, dude, why isn't there barbecue sauce slathered all over my meat, man? And the guy's like, that's St. Louis barbecue. we do
Texas barbecue. I love it.
So, so these guys are great. I'm hoping that they were able to make it into studio. They were going to come in this morning.
Yeah, they're preparing. They're preparing food for the folks who work here in office out of Venture X. They've actually Chuck's showing them putting it all out. I love it. Just love it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Meet you anywhere. Meet MEAT, of course.
Right, of course. So does Chuck have his gimbal? Is he going to go live from his gimbal out there so you can see?
Oh, nice.
And he's coming in
There
right
he is.
now. We love it.
Oh, very good.
The guy with food. We always love that guy.
We always love the guy with food.
The guy with food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really
Come on
nice
over
conversation.
Here. How are you? Thank
and
you,
again,
sir.
Here he is. This guy, just so glad and grateful to have him come in and be a part of Venture X Studios. And
Yes.
now we're going to get him on with JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Yeah, have a
like
seat.
I said, Kathy, he heavily involved with the Texas Association of Restaurants, and
If you need a
even when he was out of office, because he was an officer for that organization.
Oh, okay.
Still had some influence and discussion with
Okay.
people about how COVID-19 should be dealt with and what it's doing to small businesses and stuff. And so, but just so grateful to have him in studio. Hey, I told them about, the difference between Texas barbecue and St. Louis barbecue. And maybe
Can you hear
kinda how
JP?
offended
Okay,
you
yeah,
get when
excellent.
someone wants to slather a bunch of barbecue sauce and cook with barbecue sauce.
Right.
Yeah, so what's the difference? Because there's a ginormous difference.
I think the easiest way to kind of.
I can't hear him. Turn his mic on.
Can we get his mic on?
Am I up?
Ah,
Here we go.
there you go.
Perfect.
There you
Perfect.
go.
I think the best example and the visual of it is my niece married a Kansas City boy. And so the comment was, man, Texas barbecue's pretty good, dude, but we're all about the sauce. I said, you know what, bro? If it's barbecue, it's about the meat, right? I said, it's kind of like telling my beautiful niece that she looks better with makeup on.
Yeah, stay away from there, buddy.
How do you walk that one back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's mic drop. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all week.
So that's my perception of Kansas City barbecue. Well, it's very good, and they've done a fantastic job of promoting the brand and awareness of it. It's just no comparison to Texas barbecue.
This is buckling, by the way.
You like those?
Buckling. Buckling.
Thank you, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
So talk to us a little bit about what you guys do, how you guys came together, and how you're surviving now. Because your barbecue, I told Kathy, I said, for me to say this, because I am a barbecue aficionado. I don't get this big
right.
No.
and not eat a lot of barbecue. And, I told her, I said, let me tell you something. It is well worth the drive to Grapevine, and I would stand in a line to eat this barbecue.
Well,
so
thank
give
you.
us the whole.
That's
full
high
shebang.
praise, my friend. That's
Thank you.
high
Thank
praise.
you. Well, hence the brand name Meet You Anywhere was really born from I spent 11 years as the managing partner and director of operations for Rudy's Barbecue.
Oh,
I actually
yeah.
built the stores here in North Texas. You helped open corporate back in the George W. days. I helped open the Waco
wow.
store. We'd go
Yeah.
down and cater. But I got the corporate shaft. I got a text one morning, October 23rd, 2012, said we're going the corporate route, and those plans don't include you.
And you're like,
So
all right. Plan B.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do
I do now?
What a wonderful segue, because honestly, like growing up culturally in West Texas, plan B is always plan A.
Yeah.
Would that be Odessa or Midland, Odessa?
Actually, San Angelo.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just the just growing up, the baby of 10, you know,
gosh.
you're always hungry.
Catholic family?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah.
Mexican Catholic family.
Yeah.
What? How did I know that?
Right. So
Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Yes.
exactly. So, you know, after our parting shots and a little back and forth, and I just said, you know, that's fine. I'm you know, I knew what I had to do and you know, to sustain my family. And we literally posted something really quick within a week's time. That day, I literally spent 4 to 6 hours on the phone just calling folks that I'd built relationships with. You know, it's a relationship business. We happen to sell barbecue, and, you know, customer service was the name of the game. And that's just kind of the old West Texas style way of doing business, you know? So I knew that nobody could beat us in that category, you know? And so,
but it was, you know, getting the investors and all that
here's
stuff.
the deal. You know, we had a little bit of family help, and then really not much investment help in the very beginning. I had a buddy who we had visited throughout the years, and he said, "Hey, man, if you ever decide to do something on your own," I had no clue that, you know, my life was going to change that dramatically. But I said, "Hey, man, I'm ready to do the deal." But it was amazing just the amount of folks that contacted me that particular day, the Town of Trophy Club being one of them, and said, "Hey, we met you years ago, and we heard about your dilemma. It sucks how you got done, but it's great for us because we heard about your concept, you know.
We'll take you."
Yeah. So it's always great to be wanted. And then just in the advent of doing that, we posted on Facebook. My kids were at Westlake Academy at the time.
Right.
And we had families making inquiries, trying to help us out, you know, and literally I had a lady that said, "Hey, okay, we want to do a little party out of Vaquero." And she said, "Okay, so we decided on the menu. So where do I pick this up at? Do you deliver? Is there a storefront? Like, what do I do?"
You're like, "Oh,
all these questions, right? Within a week's time, I felt blessed that we were getting a piece of business.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. I mean, and so I said, you know, just tell me where you'd like it, and I'll meet you anywhere. Yeah. I'm like, holy cow, that's our name.
Meet you anywhere.
That is great,
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I always do that, and I go, "Oh, that's a T-shirt."
Right. No, exactly. So hence the brand. You know, we did. I thought, what conveys?
Oh, cool.
What conveys?
Yeah, hold that up for the camera.
So check it out. So
there
I
we
did.
go.
It's on my shirt.
Love it.
So it's a Texas Ranger badge.
Which is
it's
awesome.
Cool. Right.
Which is awesome.
The horseshoe represents you. The Texas Lone Star on there, and then I thought, you know, if we're the least bit successful, the four stars on there will represent the four corners of the earth because we'll meet you anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I had a buddy who was a graphic designer, Jared Gaff, that came up with this logo. And it's funny because if you look at it closely, the horseshoe U is cocked a little to the left to kind of capture your eye as you pan. So
it is.
Funny enough, when we were building the Trophy Club store, the assistant town manager calls and says, "Dude, they screwed up your sign." I was like,
off.
And he goes, "The U is kind of tilted to the left." I said, "Oh, it worked. It worked, right?"
Excellent.
Yeah,
Right.
So pretty interesting.
A little happy accident.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That worked out well.
So that's kind of how we got started. You know, we really never looked back. It took us quite a bit of time to get the Grapevine location started first.
Okay.
I felt like, you know, smaller footprint. We needed to kind of prove the brand,
Right.
and then kind of go from there. But you know, honestly, just a tremendous amount of prayers and just, you know.
God had a plan.
No question.
Know?
No
I
question.
mean,
You know?
And now looking back, it's one of those things. And again, first of all, I just took a bite of this burrito, and
dude, no, I couldn't.
please help
I was
me.
I'm like, dude, get this mic out of my way,
yeah.
man.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to eat
into
after
it.
the show because people don't want to hear me, you know, chewing and swallowing,
Masticate
you know.
on the air.
But
That's
but
hilarious.
like JP said, you know, he's like, Kathy, y'all should head out there. You should go, you know, go out to Grapevine. It's that good. And JP does not give
we
food
appreciate
endorsements
it.
lightly.
Yeah.
But so looking back, you know, you broke from the corporate structure. Did that turn out to be the best thing ever? Just about.
You know what? I tell you what. There's so many, you know, tearful moments through the process that you look back. You never want to question God's plan, but you certainly wonder, like, oh my gosh, like what are all these trials and tribulations that we're going through? And I mean, it's just a testament of the plan, and just to stick to the grind to it. And little did I know all that was going to happen. I tell you, probably the best legacy of all throughout the process is knowing who your true friends are, knowing what great dynamics in your family, that people come, you know, you always have stuff in your family and you're like, oh God, my baby brother's going through stuff, you know, whatever. But My brother David came along. I mean, every one of my family members came to support us in some capacity.
Yeah.
But, my brother David really helped me stage everything, give us the structure, and make us look legit.
Yep.
My wife's commitment in the very beginning said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go out and we're going to do a benefit in November at Thanksgiving time. We went out to Victory Outreach in Fort Worth.
Good for y'all.
And I'll tell you what, the legacy and the perspective that they gave my kids is like, we experienced a little bit of loss, but I mean, there's certainly people that are in much bigger need of things, right?
Right.
And through the process, what we were able to do, I thought, man, if we're going to be the least bit successful, guess what? We're going to have some kind of rub and seasoning to put on the meats.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So my kids had literally grown up in the restaurant business, Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in highly seasoned palates for a 7 and 9 year old, they're really, really blessed.
Right.
We traveled all over the country and gone with grandma to Italy.
Wow.
My wife had studied in Italy, did the rum studies program. And so, I mean, it's kind of cool, So I thought, you know what we do? I'm going to get all the spices out. And they're like, what are we doing, Dad? I said, you know what? We're going to start your own company because, you're just going to have passive income. They're like, at 7 and 9, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they're literally mixing seasonings, when they're sticking their little fingers in and trying it. So we came up with it, and they're like, add more garlic, Tinley Grant, put some more pepper in there, whatever it was, right?
It.
And so literally we cook for the neighborhood. My wife goes, oh my God, I cannot believe you have that damn big smoker in front of the house. She's like, the HOA is going to come by.
Yeah,
here.
right.
Y'all getting fined this
She's
month.
like, it was funny, And so we cook for all the, and then the cool thing about it is, next door we had a family, the Woodruff family, African Americans. The lady next door to them, we called her Reba. And then there's a Vietnamese family across the street, a Cambodian family across the street, and a West Texas couple 2 houses over. So I'm like, what a dichotomy of palates right there, right?
United color of Benetton.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
what a perfect audience, for our barbecue. So we try it, we cook for them, we use the kids' seasoning on there. Everybody loves it. So
Wow.
Tashawn comes by Monday morning, the doorbell rings, and he goes, bro. He goes, all my cousins from Oklahoma were like, man, that barbecue was off the chain. I mean, that guy's onto something. And he hands me a letter. And he goes, look, man, the HOA thought it was a brother cooking barbecue because they sent me a notice that the trailer was in the street.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
True story. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? He goes, they must have thought we were cooking barbecue because there was a barbecue trailer in front of our house. It was so damn long. And I'm like, he goes, man, that's a compliment, dude. He goes, can you believe that? I was like, it's kind of weird. I mean, they literally in 2 days, sent us a letter to a notice to move the trailer out of the street. And I'm
You
like,
knew the HOA was
no,
coming.
I'm like, no, it's kind of funny,
Right.
He's like, he goes, what a good blessing right off the bat, man. People they're like,
They're talking about
it's
it.
legit, right?
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. And we just really, it took off kind of from there. When we started developing the Grapevine brand, or the location, it was tough. It was a tough build there. The city was really difficult to deal with, and just the politics aspect of it, and just typical bureaucracy in a small town that's used to doing things a certain way. And it took us. Here's what's the weird thing about it. October 23rd, 2012, I lost my job. October 23rd, 2013, we finally got our official building permit.
Wow.
October rolls around of 2014, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're bleeding profusely.
Yeah.
Just living from catering job to catering job.
Yeah.
And fighting with the city about different stuff. And so, what JP was talking about, the just my past experience with the Texas Restaurant Association, I never forgot those words. One of the guys asked me to join back in the 90s. He's like, hey, man, would you rather pay $385 a year or $385 an hour? And I'm like, for what?
Yeah, right.
So I honestly picked up the phone and started calling, TRA and asking, hey, what's my exit strategy with them here? Because everything's been approved. we wanted to have kind of the little showstopper parrilla inside, kind of like the show pit that Rudy's has, kind of like Hard Eight has. It's just the show, right?
Yeah.
And so we literally welded it outside, over a period of time. The inspector literally lived about 2 blocks away from the restaurant. He'd come by on Friday nights and drink a beer with us and just kind of say, hey, what's the update on it? We literally move it in. And just my experience in the industry, I made courtesy call to the health department and to the fire department. I said, hey, we're about 2 weeks away or so. Can you come do a courtesy walkthrough and make sure we've got everything buttoned up before we get finalized on our permits? So they come by, and we had barbecue for them when they came in to try. And they're like, oh, man, this is great. Because you think about it, like, who's the biggest advocate that you want? You want the health department on your side, right?
Right, yeah.
Everybody
might help.
Everybody has the wrong view of them. I'm like, no, man, they're your biggest advocate.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Everybody looks at them as adversarial. I'm like, no, they're the devil's advocate that we need to please. You get them pleased, the general public has got a good perception of you, right? I mean, then so you talk about that and the fire safety aspect of it. I'm like, oh, man, we got, you get the fire department. People going to eat there. Firemen love to cook. I'm like, it's a no-brainer, man.
Sure.
So anyway, through the process, it was just a struggle getting final permitting done and literally, just kind of putting it all together, and you're kind of going, oh, my God, what are we going to do here? I mean, literally, talking to your wife midday, is like, how's everything going today? And like, oh, it's going all right, going good.
Well, so you finally kick off. Where are you guys now? And we're gonna. I know JP when he wrapping this up. I know JP's he's gonna give you the ask about our telethon we're doing for the disabled American veterans.
Yeah.
JP, you're the food guy, JP. So final thoughts, because obviously y'all are up, y'all are running, it's successful. This breakfast burrito is probably the best breakfast burrito I've taken one bite of.
Fantastic.
I'm like, when's the show over so I can eat?
And it needs to. Yeah, it needs to be Taste-O-Vision.
And Chuck, Chuck's been running the website and showing the different meats and everything. First of all, big stamp of approval. First of all, love the family.
Thank you.
Great family connection. Enjoyed my conversation when Meet You Barbecue Anywhere was up last time at Venture X. And again, it's worth the drive to, I would drive to Austin to eat this barbecue.
We get that a lot.
Road trip.
Yeah.
So
no, the beauty of it, honestly, it's just kind of icing on the cake for us when we finally kicked it off. That, man, you're sitting there, you're kind of that whole question we're talking about. I'm like, wow, this is the plan. So I'm literally down to my last $900. I'm like, tomorrow's the day, man. Full circle, the trinity of dates. October 23rd, 2012, I lose my job. October 23rd, 2013, we get our building permit. October 23rd, 2014, we open the doors. Holy Trinity, man.
Wow.
So you talk about that. We had set our budget at about $2,100 a day for break even. We did about $3,100 that day.
Oh,
so
great.
we've never looked back. I thought, man, if this Meet You Anywhere thing doesn't work out, we need to call it the Grace of God Barbecue, because it's been an amazing blessing.
I love it.
Well, we appreciate you, and we can't wait to have you back in and serve the crew.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to get together. I think I'd like to do a JP Kathy and the crew function out at his place in Great Falls.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we've got a ton of space at the Trophy Club location as well. Yeah.
November the 11th.
Yeah.
And we're trying to feed people who want to come up and volunteer. I want to give you a call.
Absolutely.
Talk with you later about that. Would love to have your barbecue up here to help our volunteers be motivated to call and raise money for disabled vets.
No, I love it. As I mentioned to you when we spoke briefly last week, we host the, I think they just had their very first post-COVID gathering with distancing at our Trophy Club location, which in stark contrast to our little 2,100 square foot location in Grapevine that seats 48 people. We see close to, with expanded outdoor seating, we can see close to 400 people at our Trophy Club location. So about 7,100 square feet. And wow. Yeah. So it's perfect for that type of gathering.
You probably need a DJ for that.
Yeah. we got all kinds of networking hookups here.
I do have to do this, so don't get upset with me. I do have to make mention, because one of our crew members is a huge fan of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna
she
fuck on their
is.
barbecue.
Yeah.
But the Kansas City Chiefs
I
have
love
started off
Mahomes, man.
4-0
I love Mahomes.
for 4 straight seasons. The first team in the NFL to do that. Michelle, there's your shout out.
There you go, Michelle. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We
What a
appreciate
pleasure.
you. And we
You
look forward to
bet.
working
Well, I
with
think
you.
Andy's got a
Thanks for having me.
Andy's got a great
All right.
radio voice. He's got
I was
that.
gonna say,
yeah, for
you
sure.
can come on
Going.
anytime.
That-
You fit in
yeah,
right
that
with these
Wolfman
other
Jack.
dudes I'm with.
I don't think that for the audience out there, I think they, as you see, I'm the only one with a mask on, so I've got a face for radio.
I love it.
Well,
Very
thanks,
cool.
Andy.
Well,
We
thank you
appreciate
Thank you so
you.
much for joining
Yeah,
us this morning.
bet.
And
Thank you so
all
much.
you're doing up here at
Good
Adventure
stuff.
X. Thank you
Yeah,
so
that
very
was
much.
great.
Hey, I'll meet
I
you
can't wait.
anywhere.
I can't wait to
I'll
hear
meet you
that.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Huge,
for sure.
huge
I'll meet you
show.
anywhere.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, meet you anywhere.
Eddie Van Halen. Of course, sports will be next week.
Yes,
as
yeah,
we gear up
yeah,
and,
we did special
get
entertainment
ready to talk
section
about
this
the
time.
NFL, talk about Major League Baseball, talk about the
Oh.
Houston Astros
Yep.
and what they're doing.
Sweet.
A losing
Oh yeah,
record,
Coach needs to come on and
they're
talk
making-
about that.
Yeah. Oh,
I
dude.
mean, making a huge splash. But I want to get into we only have a few minutes left. Kelly's got a cool new entertainment business.
Yeah.
plan and,
Oh,
and
okay,
what
yeah.
he's doing with
How much
some
time
of
do
his
we have?
stuff.
'Cause I'll
And we'd love to
truncate it
talk
if I
about
can-
that
if
for
I
the
have
last few
to.
minutes as we head out of the show.
We've got about 7 minutes left.
Okay, cool. Well, anyway, so yeah, I'm a former drunk or whatever, and I plan to stay there. And we're doing a show.
Former, yeah.
We're doing a show called The Pink Cloud, by the way. So
Here on the
and-
JP Kathy and
yeah,
Crew Network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's going to be all about sobriety with my buddy Nolan over there.
Nolan, come and wave in front of the camera.
You can demask for the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey.
Wait, no.
There you go. There's
From
Professor
nowhere.
Nolan.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I was kind of doing the eBay thing before, and now I'm really getting into it, and actually your young daughter, beautiful daughter.
His niece is going to be helping out with
Right.
the business, build the
All
business.
right, so we'll just start off with some fun stuff that I'm listing on eBay, and you can just go to KellyReverb Collectibles. That's on Facebook.
yeah, go and like it right now.
Yeah.
We need the crew to help push
Yeah,
that out.
for sure.
Yeah.
And what I do is I just post stuff like, it's not every item for sale I have on there, but I'll do that and I'll comment on the item. And then, like, for example, I had watches. So I have a
Yeah.
collection of watches, but I found a place where you can go for like $5.99
Right.
to get the battery changed out. And they do it for you
Oh, there
for
you go.
$5.99.
Can't
So
beat that.
it's like just cool stuff like that. And I took a picture of my watch collection
Yeah.
and me handing it off, and all that. So.
I love it.
But some of the fun stuff. I always love to what you call dumpster dive.
Yeah.
So I love the
love
thrift
it.
store. I love to do the thrift store. Here, I'm going to turn into Carrot Top for a second. The prop comic here, but
yes, Wildcats in the house.
Come on, all of $4.99 or 94 cents at a thrift store I went to. It's this like Dance Dance Revolution game, and
For
it's got like
High School Musical.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, there's Zach and
Wildcats in the house. Ashley Tisdale, Zac
Right.
Efron. Oh my gosh, yeah. Don't even get me started.
And then, as I rip the foaming off the wall. But then there's like stuff like this. I haven't even listed this, but I'm like, I'm in there thrifting. I'm like, how cool would this be for like a little kid? I don't know.
there you
Where's the
go.
camera? Where am I at?
Which one are we on?
Talk to me,
I
Goose.
think this one. Yeah, I think
Right
this
here?
one, yeah.
Okay, so
there you go.
like a little Spider-Man hat, little old vintage Vans, and just
Dress your kid up
dude,
80s.
just put it together, throw it on eBay, whatever, have fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
And in collecting, obviously I'm revisiting a lot of things in my
Yep.
sobriety. I've come across something that you might be interested in.
Is it one of my old albums that's mine anyways? Like the Van Halen album that he came across the other day.
Oh, you mean like this one?
Ah, yes.
Here,
Oh, yay.
And then you can actually
Dun,
see.
dun, 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 dun. Are the albums in here?
Oh
Is the
records.
Okay,
in
so
there.
you can see this. Okay, so he can't sell my albums because I would write on it like on the first side it says Van Halen, the best forever. And that's Kathy Ward, 13-year-old, 1979 handwriting on the back. And I told you, my best girlfriend Elizabeth, she was going to marry Eddie Van Halen.
Oh yeah,
I
you were
was
all
gonna
about
be married.
you were all about Roth, dude.
I
Diamond
love
Dave
David
all the way.
Lee Roth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Golly,
And
this
then
is
I know
greatness.
And then, well, you're gonna have that, and then I want you to
Thank
have
you,
this
Kelly.
as well.
Oh, hey.
Bam.
There you go. I love it.
I mean, I just saw that and I was like, oh, well, that's going to count.
Olivia Newton-John. Thank you, Kelly.
So there's the little
And
Christmas
it's got
present for
the
you.
old love Olivia Newton-John, which of course Grease and Xanadu. I just
That should be
my
framed and in
daughter
the
and I-
studio now.
Yeah, my daughter and I are like the biggest Olivia Newton-John fans ever.
All right,
Gosh.
so then
That's
while
greatness.
doing that, I have
so
I
great.
come across like so many incredible finds and interesting thing. I don't know if this looks familiar to you, Cass.
Shut it down, dude. That is not even funny.
Does anybody? This is a Ringling Brothers. It's actually a circus program, and it's actually from 1976,
Good
right?
night, child. I know where this is going.
So
This is not good, y'all.
in this Barnum and Bailey,
And everybody knows that I'm afraid of clowns. And Kelly would
there's-
during the circus, like Kelly would have to go up and okay, in 76, I was 10, you were what, 6? 5 or 6?
No, 6. So I was 5 or 6. Yeah.
And so he
I
would
would
have to
have
go
to-
up to the clowns because of course, I'm afraid of clowns. And he'd be like, yeah, can I also have a coloring book for my big sister? She's afraid of
And
you.
then, and he'd go, "Where is she?" And now the clown would go, "Where is she?" And then he would look over at you, and then he would get, and then he would start walking
And I'd
towards
be
you,
like,
and you
no,
go, like,
shut it down.
No, man.
Show me your sister. I'll scare that kid.
All right, so yeah, just flipping through the pages. There's a little friend of ours that wants to say hi to you today.
dude, is it
and
Mitch
when I say little.
Dude, do you still have
the
that?
man's
I've been
littlest
waiting for this.
man
God, this is not.
Kelly,
in the world.
Kelly, get her, Kelly.
The live size. Can you get a shot of this, bud?
Okay. Oh,
The
no.
live size poster
Of Mitchie.
Kathy, he's your
And
friend.
I was
He is your friend.
When I was a kid, I was afraid of Mitchu and Kelly, doggone
Yeah, but
it.
I used to tape this to
Is
the
this,
back.
is this why you wanted JP's cell phone number?
Oh, yeah.
And JP's like,
Exactly.
I love your brother.
Exactly.
Your brother's awesome.
Stand up, Kelly. Stand up.
Oh
dude.
yeah, here.
Okay. So,
Mitchell.
okay, so I used to, and we could do a whole show on me being Kelly's older sister, and I have to do a lot of volunteer work as an adult because I was not the nicest big sister. Anyways, like if I would break something, I would plant it in his room, and I'd be like, "Hey, Mom and Dad, you maybe look at Kelly's room. I think that badminton racket that got broken might be somewhere behind his furniture." And he was too young to say
I
it's
couldn't-
Kathy.
Right? No, yeah, it was
She's
just like I couldn't even.
saboteur.
I couldn't even articulate back then, and it was just always Kelly did it.
Yeah. So I was like, "Hey,"
But I used to
Kelly,
I used to tape that on the
he
back of
used
her
to-
door.
Yep.
So then when she would
I
close
closed
her
the door. I was all,
Mitchie was
Mom!
all in her face.
Mitchie's coming to get me.
and then she couldn't get out without touching the doorknob and,
And I'd be screaming
working
for
around.
Mom. I'd be like, "Mom, Mitchie's coming to get me. Come get me out of the room."
Well,
Dude, I cannot believe you pulled
But I mean, is
that
that cool?
out.
Like, I mean, no, this is not
That's-
my copy, but this is I got it on eBay.
What the
I'm like,
heck?
oh,
You're like, "Oh, this is greatness."
Yeah, I have to have that.
That's
so.
good stuff. I also do remember when you finally, and this is when I knew like you were too old for me to blame anything on you, or
What, the
you
Bart,
know, or
Bart Zargo days?
no,
or-
well,
yeah.
no, that's a whole nother topic for another show. It was when the GI Joe dolls came in and took over my Barbie townhouse, and
yeah.
like there's a Barbie doll hanging from the elevator shaft,
And there was
there's
raping and pillaging
yeah,
going
of
on.
the village. There was like one under GI Joe's truck, one floating dead in the pool, and GI Joe's kicked back with a cigar in the pool. And I came home, I'm like, "Mom," and she did nothing about it. And that was the day that the dynamics changed. I'm
There
like,
you go.
"All right, dude.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
no,
when
we
you
had
can
a
snatch
truce.
the pebble
We had
from
a-
my hand."
We had a truce at some point.
We did have
yeah.
a truce at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah. When Mom used to pay you to,
Oh yeah,
Mom and Dad
dude.
would
I was
pay.
the
So
I was
if
the
Kathy
insider
has boys
informant.
over,
Yeah, for sure.
and so
All
I
right,
don't.
now this is just becoming a brother-sister conversation.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Time for
Yeah.
us to get out of here.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You
Oh,
two
my God, I
continue
can't
the
believe you.
conversation. So we're going to pull out of here and move on down the road to the weekend. Don't forget to tune in on Saturday to Kilroy's
Yes.
Conversation.
Right here
at
live.
8 o'clock. Also, going to be talking with those two guys about doing a college football review every Saturday.
Yes.
Potentially starting at 9 a.m. So stay tuned for facts on that. But thank you so much for tuning in to JP, Kathy, and the crew. God bless all of you out there. Have a blessed weekend. Prayers up for Leon and Lisa.
Yes.
We know that Leon is battling through COVID-19, and so our
Praying
prayers
for
out
his
to him.
healing, yes. And his
So,
wife,
everybody have a
as she
blessed
takes
weekend.
care of
Get us out
him.
of here.
We love y'all. We love the crew.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, Randy Travis, we're doing the rebroadcast of the Randy Travis episode on Monday. So we will see y'all.
Sweet.
Love you, Kel. Love you, JP. Tell Stan the man hi. Love y'all. Have a blessed weekend.
Wave, John.
Wait.
John, wave.
How cool is that, though, Kat?
Dude, I can't.
Dude, look at
And
look
it's
at the
in
condition.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That's okay. I can't